I'll come to you, sir.
You mentioned Obamacare.
Yeah.
Now, I have a 45-year-old son who's mentally ill since the age of 14.
Okay.
And with the new Obamacare, he's been hospitalized many times. He's reached his max under my medical insurance. What do I do? What do I do?
Under your medical insurance?
Yeah. You know, there's a cap on how much a lifetime that you could have for an illness.
Okay, for an illness. And how old is your son?
45.
And why didn't he fall under Medicaid? Why didn't he fall under Medicaid? I don't understand the problem. But mentally ill would fall under Medicaid. If he's 45, he would fall under the protection programs that we currently have. Now, please understand that there are protection programs that the government has. I don't think there's anyone in this room that would say a hand up or helping somebody in true need is a problem. I believe most of the people in this room, like myself, believe in handouts. We don't believe that hand up or helping someone is the problem. It's the handout. And in this situation, there is Medicaid that would be helping your son out, and I don't understand why he wouldn't qualify for that.
For some reason he didn't. I don't know why.
Then you may want to investigate that with...
And, you know, again, and this has to do with Michigan law. He takes a medication for his mental illness in which the pharmaceutical company knew that it caused diabetes. In other states, they're being sued for that. My son has diabetes now.
Okay.
So I got another illness to deal with.
And the dilemma there is, because I'm running for federal office, where do you live in?
In Birmingham.
In Birmingham. Chuck Moss is your state representative. John Papa George is your state senator. I encourage you to talk to them about that specifically.
Yeah.
And what is fair, and what is right. Sometimes there's things that happen that aren't right. Not everything is perfect, not everything is fair. But we try to make it as fair and perfect as we possibly can as a group moving forward. And that being a state issue. But this gentleman had an issue, and we're going to go to this gentleman next. Yes, sir.
The amount of money coming in from Social Security. But the federal government just takes all the excess and spends it.
Well, that's and I'm glad you pointed that out. Because that's the case. Why I wanted to stay away from the word lockbox is, if that's the case, then I wouldn't vote for it. Our biggest problem right now is government spending, and I truly believe that government does not have an income problem, government has a spending problem. And that's one of the reasons why I'm running. I know that my opponent suddenly has had a conversion where he's an independent voice and a fiscal conservative. But to be a fiscal conservative, you have to prove it in the last 2 years, not just right before an election become a fiscal conservative. And I'm glad you brought that up, sir, because I concur with what you were saying. If we cannot get a guarantee or put it in writing, I would be a no vote. You'd see me leave the reservation, because I do not believe it's right for us to pay into a system that is being bankrupted, robbed from Peter to pay Paul. And what are we actually doing with that money? We are spending money overseas in nation building with the military. I was my last tour, my first tour I was an 18 leader, which meant I was in the field constantly. This last tour, I was a civil military operations officer, which meant I spent half the time in the field, the other half behind a desk. And I saw the incredible nation building that we were doing, the incredible amounts of money that we were spending, social welfare programs for other countries, USAID that we're spending, helping illegal immigrants in the United States with benefits. Or even, are you ready for this? Go to Google tonight. If you've got a computer, go to Google and type in Refugee Assistance Program. We bring 600,000 refugees to the United States. We give them housing. We give them food. We give them health care. We give them English as a second language. And on top of that, you ready for this? We give them $1,800 a month tax-free to become Americans. And did they ask to be Americans? No, they're refugees, so we bring them over.
But those aren't illegal if the refugees...
Those are the legal program under a co-signer of the UNHCR, the United Nations High Commission for Refugees. Those are the legal.
Okay.
But now think about the illegal amounts that we're spending money on. And we're talking about spending. And at one point, someone has to bring some common sense to the spending. Because we can't afford this. Folks, we are at $13.4 trillion in debt. Our national GDP, can anyone tell me what our national GDP is?
I'm sorry? Half of what it was 10 years ago.
Well, no, actually, it's higher. It is higher. It's the growth rate has stopped, but it's actually 13.9 trillion. Our GDP is 13.9 trillion. Our debt is 13.4 trillion. Most economists, liberal or conservative, will tell you when we reach 15.3 to 15.5 trillion, and by the way, 2 weeks ago we had Admiral Mullen here, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and a couple weeks ago you heard Hillary Clinton, the Secretary of State, say the same thing. Our national security and the quality of our life will be severely threatened in 2012 if we do not stop the government spending, because we will reach a point where over $600 billion will be going just to pay interest alone on the debt. And that's the low end of the projected estimate. We have a government spending problem. And I don't mean to go too long on this, but I'll give you a couple of did you know, just to stretch. We'll consider this the seventh inning stretch. We'll wake up a little bit. Let me give you some did you knows. Did you know that 1 out of every 5 federal employees, 20% of the federal workforce, makes over $100,000? Yeah. Did you know that when you're talking about your son, about the diabetes and medical health care program and the problems that you've got affording that, did you know that federal benefits for federal employees, including Congress, those for Congress, have better benefits and sweeter packages than the private sector does? Right. The private sector annual income is about $43,000 per household. Do you know what it is at the federal level? 73. 73.
With benefits.
Plus benefits. When you do benefits, it goes over $100,000.
Right.
Yeah, but they all voted for it, so, you know.
But here's the problem. We need to stop it. We need to stop it. And if I don't stop it and I don't vote that way,
Right.
I expect you to throw my, you know what, out of office.
Yeah.
I'm asking seriously for your vote tonight. Because I'm appealing to you because I understand the numbers. And if you do the right thing and you're not concerned about re-election, you will get re-elected. People are looking for people to do the right thing. So I apologize. I gotta, just to finish up with this gentleman, I promised we'd go back to the back. But sir, I assure you, by looking you straight in the eyes, that if we cannot get that guarantee and we cannot solidify Social Security as a separate line item, I won't vote for it. I just won't vote for it.
Why don't we get rid...
Just one second. Yes, sir.
The first one was Social Security. You said raise the limits to $150,000 and pay $150,000. Right?
Just a projected. I'm not set on that number. It's just an idea.
Why set a cap? Why not tax people that are CEOs of organizations that are making $1 million salary, that are getting $6 million in stock bonuses and so forth? Why set a cap of $150,000?
I just threw that. I threw that number out because I don't know what the exact number is.
Let everybody pay on all of their income. All right, if they're getting paid from a corporation and stock options or whatever have you, let them be taxed on it. They're getting significant money when you're seeing people making $50, $60 million. Point one. Point two, and I know the ladies wait for
Yes.
your turn. One of the things they tried to do in Michigan was with the Michigan State Police.
Yes, sir.
They basically said here at some point, I don't know how far back it went, that they were going to have to cut down on the number of state troopers unless the state troopers that were the senior